Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update video today. We'll go through some of the main newspapers in the country and check out what is happening in the press today in Spain. We'll have a look at El Mundo, El Pais, El Confidencial, RTVE, the state broadcaster. Then at the end of the video, we'll go into the comment section and check out what is happening there. The good news today is that it appears that the pandemic is over in Spain, or at least that's the impression that I get, judging by the way that politicians are acting at the moment. The political situation in the country is a complete shambles, and there is a huge power struggle going on, especially at a regional level. So let's get into the news and check out what is happening. And we can see here the first article at the top of the page about Díaz Ayuso and the Madrid elections. Díaz Ayuso dobla sus escaños y logra una mayoría por la mínima con Vox. So Díaz Ayuso is going to double her seats in the Madrid community, and she will get a majority with a little bit of help from Vox. So according to early polls, Ms. Díaz Ayuso, the Madrid Premier, will be re-elected in May. The PP party will be able to double the amount of seats that it currently has, and they will get a majority in the parliament with a little bit of help from the right-wing party Vox. So according to this poll, it's going to be over before it began for Mr. Pablo Iglesias, who is leaving his position as the second vice president of the central government to contest these elections. Now we'll go back into the news, and there was an article about the controversial AstraZeneca vaccine, and we'll click on this one here. And in the province of Malaga, they are investigating the death of a teacher in Marbella due to a brain hemorrhage after receiving the AstraZeneca vaccine. The 43-year-old woman had no previous pathologies and went to the ER with severe headaches that doctors attributed to the side effects of the vaccine. So another setback for this vaccine here in Spain with headlines like this one. As we know, on Monday, I think it was, Spain decided to suspend the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine countrywide. It had been stopped previously in various autonomous communities, and I think Andalusia was one of those autonomous communities. Of course, other European countries have also suspended the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine, and it says here that the woman in question received the first dose of the vaccine on March the 3rd. So we'll keep an eye on how the investigation into her death pans out over the next few days or so. Now we'll go back into the news, and there's an article here about the Jansen vaccines, and it is that the Jansen vaccine may be used in pregnant and lactating women. And tomorrow, the EMA report on the possible side effects linked to the blood clots of the AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine is expected. So a tale of two vaccines, the Jansen vaccine getting a lot of good publicity at the moment, and the AstraZeneca vaccine getting a lot of bad publicity. Coincidence? I don't know, but as you all know, I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist. Now we'll leave El Mundo, go to El Pais, see what is happening there. And the main article here on the left, Sánchez y Iglesias acusan al PP de transfugismo y de comprar votos. So the Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez and his deputy Pablo Iglesias accused the Partido Popular of transfugismo and of buying votes. An interesting word, that one, transfugismo. It means that you cross the floor, vote with the opposite political party, and that's what has happened in Murcia in recent times. I think something similar happened in Andalusia. Something similar also happened in Madrid a decade or so ago, and now in Spain it seems to be happening on a daily basis. So a serious accusation there, the government accusing the opposition party of buying votes and paying people to cross the floor. Now we'll go back into the news, a couple more articles here about the AstraZeneca vaccine. The first one here. The health department is investigating 3 cases of thrombosis in people vaccinated with AstraZeneca. And the Spanish Medicines Agency is also trying to find out if there is a causal relationship between the death of that lady in Marbella and the vaccine. And just below that, we can see another headline. This is how immunization is progressing in each autonomous community. The suspension of the AstraZeneca vaccine has slowed down all plans. With appointments cancelled and essential personnel waiting, the autonomous communities have already administered 5.7 million doses, and 1.7 million people have completed their doses. So again, another setback to the vaccination campaign here in Spain. Remember, it got off to a very rocky start, then it had logistical problems, then it had political problems, and now we have the suspension of the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is going to set things back even further. Now we'll leave El Pais, go to El Confidencial, see what is happening there. We'll have a look at the health data around the country, have a click on some of the autonomous communities and see what's happening. We'll start off in Catalonia. 158 cases per 100,000 inhabitants over the last 14 days. The Valencian community now down to 43, We'll have a look at the Balearics, 43.06. That's interesting because we know that German tourism is about to start again in places like the Balearic Islands, and I imagine also the Valencian community will be open to tourism soon. Andalusia now down to 123, and Madrid still with quite bad numbers comparatively at 222. Now we'll leave El Confidencial, go to the state broadcaster, see what's happening there. And we'll go past the articles about politics and have a look at this one here, the vaccine passport, apparently being announced today by the European Union. Let's have a look at what they say. And the headline, this is the EU COVID passport for the summer. I will be able to travel if I am vaccinated, have a negative PCR test or antibodies. Vaccination will not be an essential requirement since a PCR or antigen test may be presented. And the passport will be free, bilingual, and will be available in digital and paper formats. So there we go, the COVID-19 passport finally announced by the European Union today. And the good news, I imagine, for a lot of people out there is that it's not going to be essential to have this COVID-19 passport. As we just saw, a PCR test or an antigen test will also suffice. Now let's go into the comment section and check out what is happening there. And we'll have a look at this one here from Don. Hi Stuart, thanks for the update. It seems to me that as the COVID-19 excitement begins to drop off, the powers that be need something else to bump their gums about. On a different subject, our car park is now full in our urbanisation. 2 of the cars belong to part-time residents from Madrid. Hey ho, keep up the great work and stay safe, mate. Yeah, Don, thanks for the comment. It does seem to be the case that the pandemic is becoming old news and politicians are now looking for different ways to keep themselves interested, and things like crossing the floor, calling snap elections in places like Madrid and accusing each other of corruption are just some of the ways that politicians are keeping themselves interested at the moment. And is it just me, or are there other people out there that also think that the situation politically in this country at the moment is absolutely ridiculous? And on the topic of your car park down there in Malaga now being full with people from Madrid that have decided to go down and spend some time in Andalusia, I imagine that that's going to happen more frequently over the next couple of months. As we know, there are lots of people in Madrid that have residency in places like Malaga. They might live in Madrid, but they keep their residency or their empadronamiento in places like Malaga, so they can easily get there. And legally, I think they don't have any trouble to travel back and forth. They might work in Madrid, so they're able to spend their work time here. And of course, they might have that padrón in a place like Malaga, which enables them to be there whenever they want. And if they're currently working from home, there's probably no better place in Spain at the moment than Malaga to be spending time. So that could be one of the reasons why that car park is starting to get full. On that note, I'll start to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the video out as you normally do. A bit of a shorter video today because I released another video this morning, so check that one out as well. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.